target. Okay, so I'm so excited for this to just kind of come together and collaborate. And I know, we've got both of our teams on here tonight, but a lot of my team, and maybe they've just, been on different Zooms and stuff like that. So Shey, I just wanted them to kind of hear your story and just a little bit about you and how you found this business. And we'll kind of jump into the content after that.
Hi, I'm so excited to do this. For those of you that don't know me, I am Shey Knox. I am 22 years old and I've been in the business for 4 years. I actually joined when I was a 18-year-old high school student. I had no money whatsoever. I had 20 cents in my bank account, and I came across a post on the Discover page, which I don't even know why I was looking at that because I never looked at that page. And my upline was standing next to a brand new car and she was talking about how she paid it off in cash. And I was like, listen, that's really cool that you did that, but I have 20 cents in my bank account. Can I at least make 500? Like, I'm not really interested in seeing a comma. I just want a couple $100s. And so I messaged her, and literally the next day I borrowed my dad's credit card, jumped into the business, and I have never looked back since that day. There was a $500 Ruby bonus at the time, which right now it's $300, which is insane because my very first month in the business, I promoted to Ruby. I earned that $500 bonus. And I remember seeing that paycheck and just thinking, if I can put this much effort that I did to get to Ruby into this business, imagine what I could do if I stayed consistent with this and I kept building it and kept growing it, like where I would end up. And so within 5 months of me being in the business, I started making a full-time income with it work. So it was 3 days after I graduated high school. So I was still 18 at the time, which is so crazy because I was so young and I had no intentions of this actually being my career because I was going to school to be a nurse. So I went off to college. I was majoring in nursing, which if y'all don't know this about Erin was a nurse and she now does this full time. But I thought that income as being a nurse was going to be the security I needed for my life because I grew up in government housing. I lived in government assistant. We had all forms of food stamps and WIC and X, Y, and Z. And I knew that if I went to school and became a nurse, that was almost like security for me. Like I was guaranteed I was going to make a paycheck. Well, I kept growing this business, kept building this business. And right after I finished my freshman year of college, I promoted to double diamond, triple diamond, and presidential diamond, which are the 3 top ranks in the company. And I was making more in a month from my phone than my household income was in a year growing up. And so I decided to drop out of college. I pursued this business full time for the last 3 years. I purchased my car in cash. I bought this home that I'm sitting in now. I just purchased land this past week. And I've been able to do things that I didn't think I'd be able to do in my entire life. And to think that I just joined for gas money and just that extra income just to get through and buy groceries with and pay for school textbooks and stuff, that it turned into my income. And now I get to build this business every single day and teach people how to make an extra income from their phone and just show people that their life doesn't have to look the way the society tells you that it does. You don't have to live paycheck to paycheck. You don't have to put yourself in debt. You don't have to live your whole life, wondering when that next paycheck's going to come in, that you can truly live your best life if you work really hard for it. And so I'm really excited to be doing this Zoom with Erin tonight. I know I have a lot of my girls on here that I invited. A lot of you are brand new, and we're just really excited to share our hearts with you and encourage you and teach you how to work this business and really just inspire you to have more, because you can have more.
And I like to call Cheyenne my baby sister because my youngest sister is actually her age. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is great. Because when I got started, I was 25 in the business and I was like considered one of the young ones. And then there was this wave of, a lot of people coming in, that have been younger. And so I know that we, like we said, we have a lot of newbies, but then there are going to be some people that, have been in for a little bit on this Zoom. And so we'll kind of cater to both sides of that. So what would you say, there are like tons of newbies. Like, what do you think is the most important things to just start doing right away? Because obviously, drop a 1 in the chat if you've ever, or you have not done something like this before. I should say that. Like, for me, this is totally out of my comfort zone. I had never started anything like this. And so sometimes it can be scary, right? It can be like, okay, like I signed up, I'm doing all the things, but like, what do I do now? So talk to those people. And I know you have quite a few new girls in all the things, but talk to those people, like what are the most important parts? And if you've been in the business for a little bit, take notes on this, because this is going to be a great opportunity to learn, okay, these are some key characteristics when I'm bringing on new people. These are things that I really want to highlight and specifically touch on. That way I'm helping them on board as well.
Yeah, so I think what I love about this business is obviously everyone, I really have never met anybody that has done a business like this before once they join. And so when I got started, I was 18, I was a hostess at a restaurant. I had never done anything like this, nor did I didn't know how to sell anything. I had 300 followers on Instagram. I didn't even use my Instagram at the time. My Facebook was literally something I used to post my pictures on so that I could save storage on my phone. Like I didn't use social media. And I feel like a lot of you on here probably are worried about that aspect because you don't know how to use social media to market products, right? You've never done it. You don't feel like you have a good platform, XYZ. So something I feel like is really good when you first get started is number one, make sure that you are blowing up your upline's phone, okay? I know how to work this business. I've been here for 4 years. Erin's been here like how long?
6.5. My kids are trying to go to bed, so I can hear they keep talking. So that's why I was like, I'm
No,
muting
you're
because
good.
Kyle's up there
So
like, be quiet.
yeah, so I've
So
been here 4 years. She's been here 6.5 years. And so we've been here for a good amount of time and I have seen it all. Okay. I have literally gone through all walks of this business. So when it comes to a question you have or something you're struggling with, or you don't know how to respond to someone, or you don't know what to post, that's what your upline is for. And if you don't ask, they don't know. And chances are, I have a life, Erin has a life. She actually runs a zoo. She has a lot of children. And so there's a lot of things going on in our lives. And so we want to help you, but we don't know because we can't read your mind. And so please ask for help. If something confuses you, you don't understand something, make sure that you ask. Number two is these trainings, y'all. I know that you also have a life outside of this, and you probably are working, or you're a mom, or you're going to school, or whatever your other busy schedules are outside of this. Make sure that you make time for these Zooms. I texted all of my newbies about this Zoom tonight, and a lot of them couldn't get on because they had other life things happening, which is totally fine, and we understand that. And that's why we do record them. Erin's recording this right now for people that can't watch this, but just make sure you're plugging in, because the only way to learn, right, is if you're showing up and figuring it out. If you went to go work at McDonald's, you don't know how much salt they put on those fries, okay? Someone's gonna have to teach you how much salt they put on those fries. It's a heck of a lot, but you also have to learn all the other aspects of that business, and the only way that you learn is in the training days, right? You come to work early, they train you how to do it, you figure it out, and as you keep doing it, as you keep frying the fries, you learn how long to fry them. So it's the same thing with this business, and I always use McDonald's. I don't even go there, but it's just always the first thing that comes to mind. But when it comes to this business, it's the same. The more that you do it, the easier it's going to get. And right now, you feel overwhelmed. Even if you've been here for a while, sometimes it can get crippling because you don't know what to do. And so through the trainings and through working with your upline, you're going to figure it out, but you have to do it in order to get used to it. And so when I started, the best thing that I can tell you that I did, that I learned, was following everything my upline did. Everything. If she posted, I posted. We also didn't have Instagram stories. Those actually haven't even been here for longer than 1.5 years, if you didn't know that. So we didn't even have those before, but I literally still watch my upline, what she posts. I'm like, oh, that's a good idea. And I make it my own, or make my own video. So follow what your upline does, follow the way that they post. If they make a caption, obviously it's not going to be the same, wording that you would use, but kind of follow what she posts and then post that. Like, I get inspiration and I steal stuff from Erin all the time, or she steals stuff for me. Like, we all just go in between each other and take each other's, inspiration and stuff. And so follow your upline, make sure you're plugging into these trainings. And secondly, give it a chance. Okay. I have been doing this for a long time, and I have seen so many people join this business. So many people that literally don't make it a week because they just don't even try. They get so nervous. They get panicky. They're like, I don't know how to do this. I'm not enrolling customers right off the bat. I feel like I'm losing it. I'm not made for this. Like, all these things go through your head when you started a business. Okay. You don't know what you're doing, and you're probably not going to know what you're doing for a couple of weeks until you're doing it and you get the gist of it. And there's still days that I don't know what I'm doing. Okay. There are still days that I ask my upline for help. And so please, please, please do not give up on yourself. I tell you this, if you give this business 90 days of your full consistent effort, of you asking questions, showing up, making sure you're doing the things that your upline is sharing with you, you will succeed 110%. But if you quit anytime before 90 days, you didn't give yourself a chance. And I always say this analogy, I'm super big with analogies, but let's say you open a clothing boutique, okay? I know all of y'all follow them on Instagram and you always want to buy stuff, right? So if you opened a clothing boutique, you would buy a bunch of inventory, you'd buy all these clothes and all these super cute, you know, decorations for your store, and whether you're doing it online, whatever, you buy all this stuff. Now, as soon as you announce it, so you say you announce your business today, would you quit in a week if you didn't sell out of all your inventory? Heck no, girl, you wouldn't. You would keep working your business and keep sharing it and keep, you know, getting reviews out there and having people share your business on your story. Like, you would give it a chance in order to sell your clothes. It's the same thing with this. It's not something you can join and see immediate success. It's not. It's a business. And that's why a lot of people don't succeed in businesses, because they peace out before they see the benefits of what you're doing. And so that is my tips to you. Text your upline, blow up their phone, because your upline is your lifeline. You'll never forget that now that you've heard it. Your upline's your lifeline. Number two, plug into these trainings so that you can make sure that you fill your cup up, you stay close to the fire. The way that I've always explained it is, I wish that I could work in an office building with all of my team, because that'd be a freaking lit office building. We would have so much fun, but unfortunately we can't, and we're confined to these Zooms, okay? And so these people that you see in these boxes next to us, this is who you're working next to. And so they go through the same thing. We're all working the same business. So they get told no, they get ignored, they get people that, you know, said they're gonna buy and they don't, they get rude people. We all do. It's just a part of life. But we're all working on the same goal. So when you plug in, you get to stay close to that fire and be inspired by this. And the last thing is making sure that you give this business a chance, because all the things that you're going to learn from this business, as far as how to post, how to grow your network, how to use stories, you know, all that stuff, that's going to come along. You're going to learn that stuff just from you doing it. Like I said, just in the trainings. But those things are the things that are going to teach you how to stay consistent in this business and how to truly work it.
Yes. Well, and I think, I mean, just like you brought up the analogy of just like the clothing boutiques, you know, I have several friends that like own boutiques, and they're in their ninth and 10th year. And this is the year that things are finally blowing up. And I remember when I got started, Mike Patillo, who's our chief sales officer, you'll see him on our Sunday family calls, which are, I will give you a piece of advice. When I first got started, I did not know the importance of them. I just thought, okay, like they, you know, they're telling me to get on these things, but I didn't realize that, hey, this is going to be an opportunity to just hear like what's going on corporate wide and the announcements, and you just really get to see the vision of the company.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, it was like the minute that I started plugging into that and just really taking this, I would say, more seriously than just thinking, okay, like I signed up, you know, now what? That kind of mindset. When I started plugging into the things and I started doing the things, that's when the enrollments and the process started to happen. I was like, oh, this is all making sense. Like all of that is in place. And so he always had said, you know, give us a year and we'll change your life. And that's literally what happens is, you know, the consistency. Now I know somebody asked, you know, even if you've been in a little bit, I would think you can apply this the same. Maybe you just need that fresh 90 days. Maybe you just need that, okay, 90 days and I'm going all in, I'm doing all the things, whatever it's going to take, I'm just going to be there. And I think too, you know, a lot of things that go behind, if you go to Shey's or my page, it's the energy behind the things, especially, you know, when you're just getting started. It doesn't matter if you've never tried a product in your life. You can be like, I'm so excited. Like, I just remember I did not want to spend money on products. I was so excited to try the hair, skin, and nails because I did the mom shop and I regretted it. But I was like, I am so pumped to try them. Like, I couldn't stop talking about them because I was so excited to try it. And so even if you haven't tried a product before, that's okay. You can talk about all the things that you're so excited to try. Like, I'm legit pumped because I just made my, I'm Team Rose over here, but I'm like, dang, I did not think that this is going to be so good. So that energy and just that hype that you bring with it, I think is important too. So what would you say, what would be your take? You know, if there's some, you know, they're going to watch this a little bit later that maybe they've been in the business for a little bit. They're not just brand spanking new, but I feel like it's such a fresh, I'm not drinking alcohol. I'm drinking our skinny tea. So I should have clarified that. Like, she's probably just thinking I'm lit in my boss mom mug. It's Team Rose, our skinny tea. I love it. Okay. I saw him Chardonnay. I was like, oh my gosh, people probably think I'm lit over here, but I'm not. Anyway, back to business. So what would you say to that person that, you know, they have, you know, maybe they just haven't, I don't know how I want to word it. Like, they just haven't gone all in, like literally gone all in or made that shift, because I think there's a difference between, you know, getting started and following for 90 days and then going all in. Right. So will you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So what I wanted to remind y'all too is make sure to post this on your Instagram stories. Anytime I'm on a training, I post it on my stories and I'm like, y'all should be here. Like, we're getting training, or I create FOMO around what I'm doing. So post a boomerang on your story and tag us in it. Erin, you can drop our Instagram names in the comments, or someone can. You can tag us in it and just be excited about the fact that you just launched your business, or maybe you've been here for a while and you're on a training. Get in the habit of always posting it on your story, because people also think when they join this business that they're just going to be thrown into it and have like no training whatsoever. And that's obviously not true. So, but I do want to say, you know, for those of you that have been around for a little while, this advice can go for anyone on here. If you know why you're doing this business, everything else will figure itself out. And if you have been around for a while and you're just wondering, like, what is that missing piece? You know, when am I going to go all in with this? When is it going to start changing my life? I'll tell you this. 5 months in my business, I promoted to Diamond. I was making really great money. I was making over $2,000 a month, and I was so excited, so on top of the world. I mean, how excited would you be if you saw a $2,000 paycheck from this business tomorrow? Like, you feel good, you feel on top of the world. Like, I just felt so excited about this business opportunity, and I got very complacent. I got very comfortable with where I was. I wasn't really doing much with it. I was barely posting. I was going through the motions. You know, I would show up to a training here and there, but I was copy and pasting other people's posts. Like, I literally was just, I had a toe in. I was not all in. I had a toe in. And my paycheck started to suffer. And I went from making $2,000 a month to like 150, 207. Like, they were just very, very, very low compared to what I was used to. And it was because when I look back now, obviously in the moment, I was like, why are my paychecks not better? Why am I not promoting? Like, why am I not making any money? And I was in this negative state of mind until I realized, Cheyenne, you're not even doing anything. Like, you're not growing. You're not pouring into this business. You're not excited. Like, why would people even want to join you? Because you're literally just going through the motions. Have any of you ever done that in your life, where you just like, you're like, I'm literally just existing here. Like, I'm waking up, going to school, going to work, paying my bills, like literally just breathing. That's it. There's been so many moments like that with me and my business, because it's hard, guys. Like, we're human beings. I mean, just anything. It's hard to stay in the routine of life because sometimes it just swallows you. And I got into that routine of just posting here and there. Yeah, I do this business. Yeah, I got a customer. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Until I realized I am not here for my own selfish desires. Yes, many of you joined for extra income, but what you don't understand is that in order for you to make an extra income, you have to help other people succeed, and it starts to become a selfless thing. And so when I couldn't figure out what I wanted in this business, because I was 18, 19, 20 years old, I didn't have kids, I didn't have a desire for anything more. All I wanted was money. All I wanted was the next Louis Vuitton bag, or the next makeup that came out, or that next cute shirt from that store. Like, I didn't really understand what my purpose was until I realized that I'm here for a reason. And if I don't go all in, what am I even here for? And I want you to ask yourself, what is my purpose in this business? What was this business brought to me for? Because, guys, it wasn't an accident that you joined this business. I can tell you that. There is a reason that you joined, and you may not know it now, but you'll figure it out. Because right after that happened, and right after I kind of got stuck in that complacent mentality, my dad lost his job. And he was the one that was helping me when my paychecks were super low, and now he had no income coming in. And now I want you to insert whatever's going on in your life into that same scenario for me. It was one of those like, oh crap, like, I've got to figure this out. And it either hasn't happened to you or it's going to happen to you, because it's a matter of not when life is going to happen. It's not a matter of if, it's when, right? You know life's going to happen to you, but you just don't know when it's going to happen. So you need to be prepared. And so when I realized that, and then my dad lost his job, and I was going to school for something I hated, I was failing half my classes. Any of y'all ever taken anatomy? Yikes! Failed that with flying colors, couldn't pass it. And I was like, Shane, you want to be a nurse in the most important class, you just failed. You're done. Okay, you're out. This is not your calling. And I was like, well, crap, if I can't do this, I need to do this business. And it was a defining moment for me about 10 months into my business that I was like, what am I even doing? Get to work, like start doing something. And so I literally just flipped a switch. It was like overnight, I was like, I am not just going to be a waste of space. Like, I am not just going to exist. I'm not just going to go through the motions anymore. I am going to go all in with this business. I'm going to give everything that I have, every bit of free time. Mind you, I was still going to school. I was going to do it all in. I made that decision. I started making my own posts. I was going live even though I couldn't afford to buy the product. So I was just going live talking about how excited I was. I was posting things. I was, interacting, getting on every Zoom that I could so that I could stay close to the people. I mean, drop a one if you already feel a little bit inspired by this, if you're already just a little bit more excited after being on this training, right? Why? Because I'm excited. Right? I'm over here talking with my hands and I'm bouncing in my chair and I'm like, I'm probably going to sweat through this because I just get so excited about this business, not only for what it's done for me, but what it's going to do for you. I freaking love getting on Zooms. I do them anytime someone's like, hey, can you get on a Zoom? I'm like, heck yeah, I can, because I just want to show you that there's more out there for you. And so if you've been here for a while and you feel like there's just that switch isn't clicking, or maybe you just joined and you're like, I don't know what I'm doing and I kind of feel nervous, I'm a little bit panicky and wondering if I haven't, if I'm meant to be here, whatever it is, just know that this business is a vehicle to take you to a better life. And you can either get in the car and start driving it, or you can stand outside the car and look at the view from the outside. You can either get in the car and let it take you to wherever it's supposed to take you, whatever your path is in life, or you can just stand outside and just wait for something to happen when you know it's not. Life kind of sucks sometimes. And I think 2020 showed that to all of us, that it's like, oh, you're doing great. Okay, let me just swipe the rug out from underneath you. You've got to be prepared, and you have to take any sort of opportunity that you have and grab onto it and just run. And I know that some of you just feel overwhelmed or maybe crippled by what you're supposed to do or what your purpose even is in this business or why you even joined. Just jump in, because I can promise you that when life happens, you're going to say, oh, okay, this is why I needed this extra income. I had a girl that joined me just a couple of months ago, and she was like, I just, we're not super broke, but I just feel like I wanted the community. I'm a stay-at-home mom, all this stuff. And she promoted last month, and the next day her transmission went out and her water heater broke. And she was like, I genuinely do not know how we would pay for this if it wasn't for this paycheck that's coming in. That's just one example. So for those of you that are just really got one toe in, like I did, 3 years ago, March of 2018, I jumped all in March of 2018 into my business. And ever since then, I have made so much money. I have done so many things with my life. I have helped so many other people promote who also didn't know what their purpose was in life. I have been able to completely transform my entire life from one flip of a switch. And so if you can make that flip of a switch and say, I don't know what I'm doing, I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I know why I'm here, it'll change everything for you.
Yes, I mean, half the time it's just, you have like nobody's experts at this. A lot of times you just try it and then you're gonna learn. Like, here's the thing. I always tell my newbies, like, we can give you all the scripts, we can give you all the messages, we can do all of the things, but we cannot actually do the work for you. I can help you with the conversations that are going to happen, but if you don't make that post to ignite that interest, then I can't help you with the next steps. And so be coachable in this position. And even if you've just been in, you've been in for a little bit, it doesn't matter. You can make that decision to just flip the script and say, okay, like, I'm just not going to let anything hold me back anymore. I'm doing all the things, I want to be that person that's just leading and paving the way, for my family or for my life or whatever in the heck is going on, in those scenarios. Cause I think that at the end of the day, it's just making that decision, and any time that you get on a Zoom, there's no secret sauce. It's just making that decision to go all in. So it doesn't matter if you've gotten started or you've been in a little bit, no matter what your journey is. Tonight is a new night, and you can flip the switch tonight. You can wake up tomorrow and that switch is flipped. So just go all in with that. If you guys have any questions, you guys can drop them in the chat too. Okay, so the next thing that I really wanted to touch on, obviously we kind of talked a little bit about mindset, but obviously, mindset is going to be huge in addition to, like, what are things specifically, because, we've got newbies on here, but what do you make sure that you're doing each and every day for your business? Because I think that's the thing too is, I think it's amazing that our corporate has come out with our KPI checklist, and a lot of times I refer back to that. But what would you say, like, are your key things that you have to make sure, like, these are the secret sauce to making sure that I have a successful business each and every day?
Yeah, so what we call it in this business is a 6 list. So it's just a daily 6 list of things that you do. Now, obviously there are, extra things that you can do and that the longer you're in the business, I mean, there's a lot of things on my plate now that were not on my plate when I joined, because every new level of promotions and success and a bigger team brings along different responsibilities. But as far as me working the business, I do still to this day the exact same things that we teach you to do. For those of you that have been trained by your upline and you got steps and you sent messages and you're doing this, that, and the other, same things that I do. There's nothing different that you do that you will ever change other than the amount of work that you do. Because obviously the more you do, the more money you'll make. So with that being said, Erin or Kenna, I see one of my girls on here, so you can type them in the chat if you want to, but the first thing that I do is posting. So posting is the most important thing that you will ever do in your business, and I'm about to show y'all why, okay? I need y'all to pay attention to the chat because you're gonna be typing something in it too. I want you to tell me how long you watched your upline before you got started. How long did you watch your upline before you got started? From the moment you saw it works to the moment you clicked proceed, how long was it? And this is a super good exercise for y'all to see. I want you to look at this as if it's a timeline of your business, okay? If you don't post, none of these people would join your team. And I do this on literally any Zoom that I have a lot of people on, because I want you to understand that everyone you talk to, they're not going to join you right away. They want to watch your success. They want to watch what you do, watch how excited you are about this business, see what it works for you, see the confidence behind it. And so I know many of my girls are on here, and same for Erin. You did not just join immediately the moment you saw something of me. You crept and crept through my stuff. You turned into an FBI agent and you looked at all my information. You went through my highlights, you watched my videos, you watched my reels, my TikToks, whatever it was, and you totally went all in on my page. That's why posting is important. Because if you don't have anything out there, we do network marketing. We're social media networkers through Instagram, Facebook, social media platforms. If I don't post, nobody knows what I'm doing. And so also we know that you don't know how to post. So that's what your upline's for, and team pages. There's all sorts of resources for you on team pages as far as scripts, captions, picture ideas, trainings, all sorts of stuff, which is something that you will learn, and also follow your upline on that. So posting's the first thing. Second thing is messaging. So reaching out to your friends and family, talking to people, having new conversations. My goal every day is to at least talk to 30 people about the business, the products. I want to be in new conversations every day. I do not want to just sit there and message the first 30 people and hope that those 30 people buy from me. I'm going to plant the seed, plant the seed. Here's me with another analogy, okay? Y'all are going to hate me by the end of this. You're like, listen, another one. You're a farmer. Okay, and this is, I wanted you to paint this picture through this, and I always share this. So for anyone in the business, we plant seeds every day. I'm constantly talking to people, planting seeds about the cleanse, about the coffee, about making $500 a month from their phone, about our skincare. I'm planting, planting, planting. Now, as a farmer, you don't harvest all those seeds at one time, right? You're going to fertilize them and fertilize them and fertilize, and that's why our posting comes in. You're posting about the products, posting about the business, making sure that you're sharing your confidence, your excitement, the freedom, the trainings. You're posting all aspects of the business. That's fertilizing these people, right? Some of you are on here because you saw a random post about this other random girl that joined the business. Some of you are here because you saw the freedom, and some of you saw the Zooms and you were like, oh great, I'll have training. And some of you saw the friendships. You saw something different in whoever you enrolled with that's different than the box that's next to you on this Zoom. So then you're going to harvest. All farmers harvest through. They don't harvest all at the same time, but you've got to plant the seed, fertilize the seed, harvest the seed. And it's going to look different for every single person. Hence why it took Andrea 10 days, 2 days, a year, the next day, 2 weeks, a year, 3 years. Oh my gosh, a year, 6 months, 3 months, 12 months, a year, 2 years. You see what I mean? So it's going to be different for everybody. And I wanted you all to see that exercise because not everyone's going to join you immediately. Okay, so that's messaging. Number 3 is following. So I make sure that I'm growing my network every single day because I never want to run out of people to talk to. And there are 3.6 billion people on social media, okay? And I know that many of you are like, well, I don't have a lot of friends and family, and I live in a small town, and I don't feel like a lot of people on my social media would be interested in this. Great, that's fine. Find new ones. Okay, I had 300 followers on Instagram. I had like 628 friends on Facebook, and I live in a tiny town that I still live in, okay? And there's still tons and tons of people who have never bought from me. And so I just found people on social media through TikTok, through Reels, through following people, through friending people. And so I'm constantly getting new people to my page. Fourth thing, follow up, okay? Follow up. This is the second most important thing that you will do, okay? So you're messaging people. Have any of you been followed up to join this business? Did someone message you and then they followed up with you again and then again and then again and then again and finally you said, yeah? Okay, write this statistic down. This is so important for you to understand. In sales, all across the board, not just in what we do, but in sales, you're gonna follow up with the people you're talking to an average of 8 to 12 times. How many of you have ever got an email from Bath and Body Works or Target or Forever 21? All of you were smirking because you're like, yeah, they don't stop. Why? Because they're following up with you. You're in a follow-up, dude. You went and added products to your cart. You got a 10% discount and you said, oh shoot, I'll put in my email. You put in your email and now they've emailed you 74 times. But guess what? It worked because they messaged you about that semi-annual sale last week and you bought the thing. Yeah, I did it last week for a shirt that was far too expensive, but I bought it anyways because they wouldn't stop emailing me. I said, fine, okay, I'll do it. And I didn't even want the shirt. I was like, why did I spend that much money? But it's because they followed up with me. So you're going to reach out to people. You're going to get left on red. Raise your hand if you've ever been left on red or been ignored or been ghosted or been told. Look at that. Look at all those hands, okay? Normal. It's just life, okay? How many of you are moms and you have to go get your kid off the island because they're about to jump off of it in the kitchen and you just open this message and now you can't text back because so-and-so is jumping off the island and then so-and-so just grabbed scissors and they're going to cut their hair off. Or maybe you're like, oh crap, I have an assignment due at 11 and I totally forgot about it, and you open this message. People are they live their lives. They've got all sorts of stuff going on. They're not ignoring you because you're annoying them, okay? So we follow up with people just to say, hey girl, just checking in with you. Sometimes people just don't want to tell you that they can't afford a $30 product. Okay. Sometimes there's a lot of things behind the scenes that you don't know about. And so we just follow up. I'm just asking. And a lot of times you can feel annoying, but listen, I have changed a heck of a lot of lives in this business simply because I asked. If you don't ask, the answer is always no. Number 5, I interact. So I spend a lot of time commenting on people's stuff, messaging people, swiping up on their stories, liking their pictures. Why? Because I can't go up to them in person. I can't be super excited and super hyped to them in person because I work on social media. So I have to make sure that I'm asking them, hey, where'd you get this shirt? Oh my gosh, girl, you look so good. I call myself a professional cheerleader. I'm just really excited and I'm always talking to people and I'm hyping them up and commenting on their stuff, making sure that I'm getting interaction back. How many of you have ever heard of algorithm before? Algorithms suck. Okay. Remember when things were chronological and our lives were amazing because we could just see everything and you could catch back up. And then finally, when you make it back to where you started, you knew that it was time to stop. Yeah. Now it's not like that. So if they don't click on your stuff and like your stuff and you don't like theirs, you'll never see it. So I obviously want people to see my stuff. So I'm always just commenting, liking, swiping up on stuff, interacting with people. You're never just going to senselessly scroll anymore. I know a lot of people just don't like pictures. I like everything. I'm like, oh, love it, love it, love it. React, comment, you look cute. Like I'm just constantly interacting because what are they going to do? If I went and commented on Peyton's picture and I said, oh my gosh, girl, you look so pretty. What is she going to do? Who's this girl? Click on my profile, look at my post. That's what I just did. And they don't even realize it, but I just snuck my way in all because I commented. And then the last thing is plugging in. So not only plugging into these trainings, but plugging into the lives in the team page, plugging into anything that goes through your Connect app, any trainings that they share with you, just making sure you're staying plugged in to the business and staying plugged in to your personal development. So how many of you have ever heard of personal development before? And this is for everyone. If you do not do personal development, we need to talk, okay? Guys, we are humans. And there are days that we wake up and we woke up on the wrong side of the bed. Okay. That was me a couple of days ago. I was like, I just want to not. Can I just not? Like, I just don't want to today. You are in a person business. Okay. So you're dealing with all sorts of people. We don't like everyone. Not everyone likes us. Okay. Some people wake up on the wrong side of the bed when you wake up on the right side of the bed, and you still have to deal with them. And so when you do a business like this, you have to make sure that you fill up your cup, because if you're starting your day speaking death into your business and speaking negativity into your business, no. How are you supposed to pour into other people and help grow them? Like if I was in a bad mood right now, this Zoom would not be very good. Y'all would be able to feel my energy and be like, this girl needs to go back to bed, okay? But I did my personal development today, okay? I watched a sermon, I read my devotional, I read some of my book for my personal development. So not only am I plugging into my team and to trainings and to this stuff, like I'm not even a newbie, and I'm not even like I'm inspired by this just from listening to y'all and just being here with you. And so post, message, follow up, interact, and making sure I'm plugging into everything that I can. All the other stuff will just come along with it, but those are the core things you want to make sure you try to get done every day. That was long-winded.
Hey, I love it. Well, and you started to talk about algorithm and chronological. I'm like, are you sure you were even old enough to remember that? Because I don't know that that's true. Anyway, no, but I think it is so important to make sure that you're doing those things, but also know too, even if you've just gotten started, it's going to seem like a lot because this is way different probably than any other 9 to 5 job. So know that we're not talking all of a sudden, boom, overnight, you're going to know all the six and be so good at all the six. And you've got your schedule figured out because I'm a busy mom of three. Like I've got two littles that are 15 and a half months apart and the one is, I mean, they're busy. They're busy, busy, busy. And so, it's finding those nooks and crannies of your day to get those things done, right? And spending the time to do those things. I would also encourage you, if you haven't done self-development, you can go to YouTube and search in something motivation. Maybe as a mom, you're getting ready, like, for the 5 minutes of peace that we might have to like brush our teeth. And that might be the only YouTube that you can listen to in the morning. Put that on, something that's just going to help you jumpstart your day. And then know that this is going to be a process as far as, okay, I'm learning all these things. I'm starting to do the things. And if it's still new to you, and maybe you need to set reminders, like sometimes, if you know that you're going to have a hectic day, there's an app called Google Tasks. I know that there's a couple different ones, but I personally like notifications to pop up on my phone because I don't like notifications. So if it's there and I have to click it off, that's what I use is Google Tasks. And I make sure that I have those certain tasks that are in each and every day because it helps me function as a person, knowing, have I gotten my certain things done? Have I commented on at least, X amount of people, whatever my goals are personally for me, and I'm doing each of those things because the more that you're doing it, the more that it's going to become second nature. And then you're not even really going to think about it. And then you're going to build on it. You're going to be like, okay, now I have time for, a little bit more interacting, or I can start creating more content or stockpiling different things. And so know that it's going to be a process. It's not going to happen overnight. And like we've been saying, give it 90 days, give it that year, go all in, make that decision to go all in, say, I'm going to commit to doing all the things, and just do it. Just absolutely do it because something happens when you make that mindset shift to just, turn it on and say, this is what it is. Shey, I know we're kind of over 30 minutes. I like to try and keep them at 30 because I know sometimes with schedules and kids and all the things, but is there anything else that you wanted to add on before we hop off? Or is there any questions that we didn't touch on that you guys have? I know this is so amazing because I'm like, okay, like I'm ready to just, I was getting kind of tired, but I was like, now I'm just ready to go back in my room and work for a little bit before I go to bed and all the things.
Yeah, and I know that what I love so much right now is every single one of you are eligible for a bonus. When I first got started, there was a $500 Ruby bonus, a $5,000 Emerald bonus, and a $10,000 Diamond bonus. And right now, y'all have the same thing. You'll have a $300 Ruby bonus, a $5,000 Emerald bonus, and a $10,000 Diamond bonus. And I know that a lot of you you're like, what? What is all of that? You don't need to know, okay? You don't need to know what all of that is. You just need to know that you just need to do the things, okay? Because the more you do the things, the more you get results, the more results equal money, okay? And so I got started and I said, listen, my upline's name is Courtney. I said, Courtney, tell me what I need to do and I will do it and I will show up 10 minutes early, okay? I just need money. I'm broker than broke. And so for every one of you on here, you can do hard things. And when this bonus is here and you're looking at all this stuff, as long as you do the work every single day, just those 6 things that I shared with you, and you're doing them consistently, you will see results. And what you'll see happen is, I didn't join this business to see a $10,000 bonus, but did I earn the $10,000 bonus? Yeah, I've made almost like $70,000 in bonuses now that I've been in the business, but it wasn't that I was obviously working for the bonus, but I was just doing the things every single day. And then I woke up and was like, oh wait, I can actually do this. Like I got the numbers and I helped the people and I did the things and I enrolled the customers and now there's a bonus attached to the work that I'm doing. And so you are all a part of something. And that's what I love so much about this business is we don't make a single dollar unless you do. And so we want to see you succeed. We want to help you. We want to teach you. And for every single person on here, you're a part of a bigger picture. Like I know I'm personally trying to go triple diamond 2.0 on my second account. I know Erin's working super hard. I'm pretty sure on presidential 2.0 for her second account. And you're a part of very successful teams, which there is so much power in that because there are so many people that message me on Instagram every day and they're like, can I be on your team? Because they just see how excited we are and how motivated we are and all the things that we're doing. And so you're a part of something bigger than you. And everything that you get to do it with us. We're all going towards something huge. We're all working towards bonuses right now. And so all I know is that if you take this stuff and you know why you're doing it, like what is that thing that you just hold so true to your heart that just sets your soul on fire, that you're like, oh my gosh, I want to do this for my kids. Or, oh my gosh, I want to know what it feels like to go to bed and know that my bills are paid on auto draft. Oh, like whatever it is as to why you clicked proceed. I want you to drop like in a very, like 3 words, drop in the chat why you joined. Is it debt? Is it because you're tired of living paycheck to paycheck? Is it because you want purpose? Is it because you want confidence? Is it because you wanted friendship? I don't know what it is, but that thing, when you get discouraged or when you feel like you're just existing, like I was talking about earlier, you feel like you're overwhelmed or whatever it is, think about that, because that matters. That's why you're here. That's why you said yes. And when you promote, I can guarantee you that when you cross that finish line and you actually see that paycheck and it gets put into your account, there's not a single thing that you will regret. There is not a bit of work that you would say, oh, I take it back. You would never, because you know that that matters. And so if I could go back to my new self, or to that person that was like kind of stuck in a rut and just wasn't really focusing on my business, or, you know, I was looking at the numbers and I wasn't happy with where I was, I controlled it. That's what I love about this business, is I am not confined to $8 an hour like I was before this business. At my job, if I showed up and did my very best, or I showed up on the wrong side of the bed, I was still making $8 an hour. It didn't matter if I worked really hard or barely worked. In this business, no matter what you do, if you go all in, you are reimbursed for that. There's a glass ceiling for the work that you're doing. And so right now, you joined at the best time of the year. Okay, you joined at the best time of our business because it's exploding. There are bonuses like crazy. We've got new products coming out left and right. Like before we got on here, I was hyping up the slimming gummies because I was like, I look good. Okay, I look great because of these products. And so you've got so many things that are happening right now. And it's just so fun that you get to be a part of just so much like fire and momentum. You couldn't have joined at a better time. And so do the things that we shared with you. Know that anytime you feel stressed or overwhelmed or whatever it is, go to your upline. We will help you. We will walk you through it. And at the end of the day, always know why you're here, because that's what's going to keep you motivated towards those next goals and doing the next thing. And the how will figure itself out.
Yes, I love it. Okay, so one person asked about following up. Do you follow up until like essentially get blocked? I always say like, it's crazy because I've had blue, 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 blue. And then all of a sudden one day they're like, okay, I'm ready. And I'm like, what? Like, you just never know. Like when the thing, and we always talk about, you know, life changes every 9 months. Like, you know, people are going through different things. And so maybe when you talk to them in that last season, it wasn't their time, but now all of a sudden something else has shifted. So I would say, as far as following up, don't give up on that part. But then what would be your top 3 like personal development books or things that that are your go-tos?
Yeah, I basically follow up until I get blocked too. But my top 3 books, okay, one book, I know that some of you were like, I don't read. Okay, I did not read either. I spark noted every summer reading project for school. Okay, I hate it. But personal development's different because it's reading for yourself. So the first book I ever read was Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. Write that down. Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. That book changed my entire life. It's so stinking good. It changes your money mindset, the way that you look at people, the way that you look at yourself. It's so good. The second thing, I would say like a very basic, like personal development book is Girl Wash Your Face by Rachel Hollis. It's very, very good. I haven't read any of her other books. I just know that that book is a really good book to start off with. You Are a Badass. It's yellow. With Black Writing, You Are a Badass. It's a very good book. There's also one that says You're a Badass at Making Money too. Those are 2 really good ones. And, you know, I also think too, that just like if you're a religious person or whatever, like I read devotions every day. And that fills my cup up so much every single day, listening to a podcast, watching a sermon, you know, whatever it is. But there's so many amazing podcasts like Ed Milet. Edmylett, Ed Milet, so good. Will like fill your cup up. The Rise podcast. There's lots of good podcasts. So just find a good podcast to listen to, or YouTube video sermon. But those 3 books are really good 3 books to start off with. And if you're brand new, Go for No is a really good one. It teaches you to like the more no's that you go for means the more yeses you're going to get. And it's a really good book to understand. So
Yes, and it's on YouTube. You can actually go and listen to it on YouTube for free. if you don't feel like it. I actually listen to a ton of audibles. So you're just going to figure out what works best for you and your lifestyle. But just because, you don't, maybe you're not a reader doesn't mean that you can't listen to something. You need to get it however you can, even if it's just 10 to 15 minutes in the day. Some days you might have a little bit more time to read. I always have a couple different books too. Like I have books on my desk, on my, like in my office, in my car. Like I'm listening to things all the time, because each day is going to be different based on what you need. So thank you so much for hopping on with me. I know we went a little bit over time, but I know this is so powerful. And again, like she said, don't hesitate to reach out and ask questions, or if something doesn't make sense, or even if you've been in for a little bit, now is just that time to just make that decision to be like, okay, this is what I'm doing. I'm going all in, and I'm making that commitment, because it's just going to be the absolute best thing. Like here I am 6.5 years later. I'm like, I can't believe that the time has flown by in the way that it has. But I'm excited for the next years that are going to come. So thank you guys so much for joining us. And I know spending some of your time away from family or whatever's going on, but we appreciate it, and just proud of you guys for taking the time to do that. So everybody have a good night, and
something else that I do is I always tell my girls, text your upline. Now that you got off this training, text your upline and tell them, like, this is what I learned. I'm really excited. I love feedback. And so text your upline and tell them that. And if you have any questions over anything that we talked about, that's a perfect time to ask too. But we love y'all. Good night.
bye y'all.